Everyone could sense that there was something brewing in the royal family since the whole Harry issue started. Even way before then, there have been signs that the strains that come with protecting the image of the royalty have been dealing a number on the members of the family, especially for Prince Harry and William, who have had their fair share of the troubles. However, things have even taken a turn for the worse, as Kate, Prince William's beloved, has faced the harsh realities, following a rumor that started making rounds in the media. Join us as we unravel these developing stories. The Princes William and Harry have grown up in the full glare of the British public and world media, their lives molded by the peculiar pressures of royalty. Born into the House of Windsor, it would always be a somewhat privileged childhood, bound by duty and weighed down by tradition, and also one with personal struggles and familial upheaval that would indelibly shape their identity and their relationship with each other. William Arthur Philip Louis was born on June 21, 1982, as the first child of Charles and Diana. Being born the second in line to the throne, his birth was highly celebrated, and his arrival brought great joy to the royal family and the nation. From the moment he was born, William was groomed for his future role as king, a responsibility that would define much of his upbringing. His brother, Henry Charles Albert David, known as Harry, was born on September 15, 1984, and though his birth was also jubilant, being the spare to the heir placed him into a very different life. The two brothers were close right from the start in their ways and the unique challenges that faced them within the royal limelight. The early years of their childhood, spent within the opulent confines of Kensington Palace and Highgrove House, were reasonably normal, due in large part to the efforts of Diana, Princess of Wales. She made it a point to provide normalcy for her sons through regular visits to theme parks, fast food restaurants, and excursions where the princes could get out among the public, away from the formality of palace life. She also instilled a sense of empathy and compassion in her sons, encouraging them toward charitable causes and the lives of others less fortunate than themselves. King Charles was also very active in their upbringing, sharing with his sons his love of nature, art, and history, despite his relationship with Diana growing increasingly strained. The breakdown in Charles and Diana's marriage overshadowed much of William and Harry's childhood. The eventual separation in 1992 and divorce in 1996 of this glamorous couple were made very public, with every jot and tittle of their marriage torn apart before the public. This was excruciating for William and Harry. They are highly sensitive to the tension built up between their parents, a vulnerability that must have been acutely felt, considering the deluge of constant media attention. The media attention grew following Diana's famous 1995 BBC Panorama interview, where she spoke candidly about her struggles with her husband's infidelity and about her place within the royal family. It left both boys shocked by the divorce that was followed by their mom's tragic and untimely death in an automobile accident on August 31, 1997. After her death, the brothers William and Harry clung to each other, and the tragedy molded their relationship so strongly. There was often an underlying sense of protection from William as an elder brother, trying in many ways to protect Harry from the worst aspects of media intrusion. However, because of their respective positions within the royal system, their paths became significantly different, with William being in line to inherit the throne and having to submit to a particularly more structured and disciplined life. He had a fair idea from a very tender age as to what lay in store for him, and his education and training were tailored to the position he would later come to occupy. He had the best schooling, including Ludgrove School and Eton College, where he was an avid student and did well at sports. Harry, however, enjoyed a larger opportunity of freedom to pursue different interests and hobbies that appealed to him. Free-spirited, Harry had the opportunity to explore life more freely than his brother. Like William, he attended Ludgrove and Eton, but struggled more with the academic demands and pressures of royal life. From the beginning, there was that streak of rebellion that would mark Harry's early life. He also shared his brother's sense of duty and commitment to public service, which would later manifest in his military career and charitable work. Their upbringing was also significantly different in that, within the family, William would frequently assume more and greater responsibilities for, or on behalf of, the monarchy, while Harry was always granted more freedom to pursue some areas of life apart from duty. That would have sometimes put tension on the brothers, with Harry struggling to find a place within the royal family. However, the shared experiences and a bond forged in the wake of their mother's death have kept them close, even as their paths diverged. Coming of age, William and Harry continued to find their place in the complex life of being a royal, with each making his own contribution to the monarchy. Having in mind his future role as monarch, William followed a path of tradition and modernity, shaping the monarchy's relevance to an ever-changing world. He married Catherine Middleton in 2011, and their growing family became symbolic of a monarchy in modern times. Harry, meanwhile, attempted to find an identity away from his brother's shadow by serving in the British Army and founding the Invictus Games, an international sporting competition for wounded servicemen and women. His 2018 wedding to Meghan Markle marked a new chapter in his life, but brought with it a different kind of problem as a couple, faced with extreme media scrutiny. All these challenges, and most of all, the lasting impact of the death of their mother Diana, have combined throughout the lifetime of William and Harry to shape them both. Their lives are diverging, but the experience they had together and the bond that made them in childhood remains the most defining characteristic of their relationship. As the years went by, Prince William and Prince Harry did fall into some clearly defined differences that perhaps reflected their different personalities, positions within the monarchy, and respective lifestyles. William was always cognizant of his place as a future monarch, more bound by convention and tradition than Harry, who was free to dabble in other interests. These differences in their path furthered not only their distinctive identities, but also a growing separation between the brothers, inasmuch as it seemed they dwelled in different worlds. William hewed to convention in his decisions and behavior from an early age. He accepted the mantle of his future role as monarch with grave seriousness, knowing his actions would shape the perception of the monarchy. The quintessential royal's marriage to Catherine Middleton in 2011 was steeped in centuries of custom, watched by millions across the world. The modern faces of this growing family include Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. William's work was also tinged with dedication to the principles of royalty, which included such causes as mental health awareness, conservation, and support for veterans. His every action was thoughtful and deliberate to sustain the monarchy's relevance and life in present fast-moving times. In contrast to this, Harry's life course became more unpredictable. He has always been known as an adventurous spirit, and certainly he does push the boundaries at times. He has always shown his dissatisfaction with the life that he was forced to lead as a royal, which cared little about personal identities, and was focused on maintaining a certain image to the public. Harry's free-spirited wish to do his own thing was in contrast to William, who pursued the more conventional path that their upbringing prescribed. This difference has been a huge source of tension between the brothers, as they struggle to find a middle ground in their beliefs. While trying to find his place within the royal family, Harry towed the path taken by the other members by joining the military. To him, he hoped to find that escape that he had always wanted, but things didn't work out as they seemed. He joined the army in 2005 and went on to have a distinguished army career, serving twice in Afghanistan. Military service gave him a sense of purpose and camaraderie not previously experienced within the confines of being a part of the royal family. However, this path did not provide him with the independence that he was so looking forward to. Even Harry's time in the service was hounded relentlessly. As one of the most high-profile members of the royal family, and being in combat zones presented considerable security risks. It wasn't until the second deployment to Afghanistan, between 2012 and 2013, that he came to the understanding that it was time to take a step back from the front line of active service. An important turning point for Harry came when he began to realize that even within the military, which he had hoped would offer some escape from the royal constraints, he still felt the shadow of his duties as a member of the royal family covering him. As Prince William and Harry grew, it was increasingly obvious how much strain was being exerted on the brothers' relationship. While William's attention turned to his future role as king and adherence to tradition, Harry's pursuit of personal freedom and self-expression more often than not led him to question the very same tradition. There was friction between them, worsened by the relentless media attention following both brothers, especially Harry, who was often inordinately and harshly judged or misunderstood. Lifestyles and life priorities tugged them further and further apart as each tried to balance his aspirations with their shared heritage and their responsibilities. When the gap between the brothers became obvious in 2018, now that Harry had married American actress Meghan Markle, no one was prepared for the route that Harry was going to take later in 2020. Harry's wedding to a free-spirited American actress was another sign that he sought to be free of the shackles that come with life as a royal. Reactions of the royal family toward that decision shook both sides and also grabbed the public's interest. While some saw it as a betrayal of his duties, others found it a necessary step to his personal happiness. William, always more cautious and bound to tradition, couldn't understand Harry's choices, resulting in their bonds becoming colder. Despite these frictions, both siblings still have a part of them that keeps bringing them together. Though they have since pursued divergent routes, the siblings continue celebrating their mother's life by carrying on charitable endeavors that reflect her deepest interests. The complications in their relationship also exposed a greater challenge for the monarchy, which bordered on how to balance tradition and modernity, while trying to work out what different roles mean within the confines of a very ancient institution. From all this, the relationship between William and Harry is a reminder that family, duty, and pursuit of identity are the things that will truly last in confrontation with extraordinary expectations. The growing gap between Prince William and Prince Harry was remarkably outspoken in the choices of life partners as a reflection of their different ways of taking up the burden of the royal role, personal values, and aspirations. William's marriage to Catherine Middleton and Harry to Meghan Markle reflected not only their individual personalities, but also brought into view the growing gulf between the brothers, since their respective relationships came to symbolize their contrasting paths inside and outside the monarchy. It was, however, a rather orthodox and safe choice when William chose Catherine Middleton as his bride, because she fit the mold of what the royal family and the British public expected. Kate, as she is often known, came from a relatively middle-class family, but her family's acquired wealth and her upbringing in the countryside of England gave her breeding suitable for aristocratic circles. She was educated first at the exclusive Marlborough College and then at Scotland's University of St. Andrews, where she met William. Her calm, unruffled disposition made her a potential queen consort-to-be. Her family, the Middletons, are not of royalty, but their stability and a lack of associated scandal resounded reassuringly with this monarchy. To William and Kate, it was a relationship that unfolded almost over a decade with an air of continuity and convention. This was followed by the grandly choreographed marriage at Westminster Abbey in 2011, in full view of millions around the world, further solidifying Kate's position as the modern centerpiece of the royal family. The two to date have played their roles well as future king and queen, with much emphasis on family life and charity work, with a well-oiled public relations machinery. On the other hand, Harry's marriage to Meghan Markle seemed like a real break from the mold. Meghan, an American actress well known for her lead in the television series Suits, brought a very modern and unconventional outlook into the family. Of course, her background was very different from that of previous spouses, as Meghan was a biracial woman from a working-class Los Angeles family. Also, Meghan's race brought a whole new dimension to royal relationships. Her marriage to Harry, while for many a nod to progress and diversity, was a union that stirred debate and laid bare lurking and ingrained prejudice in parts of the media and public. Meghan's outspokenness, her advocacy for social justice, and her willingness to challenge royal protocols further set her apart from the more reserved and traditional Kate. Harry and Meghan's wedding in 2018 reflected both tradition and modernity, reflecting a shared desire to forge a different path through the monarchy. As time went on, the public got to find some major differences between these two marriages. For William and Kate, it's about a marriage based on some kind of similar understanding of duty to the institution and the conventional ways of looking at the monarchy. Theirs was seen more as a steadying factor and given something to lean on with reassurance from the public, whereas Harry and Meghan's relationship was all about personal freedom and challenging the convention. It slowly became obvious that fundamentally there was a difference in outlook. Harry and Meghan were starting to feel strained by the bounds placed on them by royal life. The intrusive media attention, together with what they perceived as an unsupportive royal institution, finally led them to the unusual decision early in 2020 to step back from their role as senior royals. It was dubbed Megxit by the media and strongly put notice that Harry would now place his family's well-being and autonomy above all kinds of duty as a royal. Harry leaving the royal duties further strained his relationship with William, who had always held firmly to the idea of being the future king. William, always much more careful and traditional, reportedly struggled to understand Harry's choices and saw them as a denial of the legacy and responsibilities of their family. Once inseparable brothers, William and Harry's paths were diverging increasingly, with William moving straight into the role and responsibility of a monarch, and Harry moving away from it to a more independent private life. This was compounded by the media portrayal that was replete with rumors and speculation about the state of their relationship. William's life as a senior royal has been a tightrope walk between the claims of his public life and the longing for privacy and personal existence. Not without his own set of challenges, he has faced sustained rumors, which started in 2019, of his probable unfaithfulness to Kate. The rumors were never substantiated, but served to bring to the fore how closely watched every step of a royal family member can be. William, for the most part, has kept silent with more concerns for his job and family. He has faced the pressures with such dignity and calmness, which confirms him to be a sure and stable man who will carry out the monarchy's responsibilities in the future. On the other hand, Harry pulled himself into his quieter, very private life just after stepping away from his royal roles. He and Meghan moved to California, where they plugged into building life away from the strictness of the family. They created separate projects, including the nonprofit organization Archewell, along with highly lucrative dealings with streaming facilities such as Netflix and Spotify. Harry's memoir, Spare, which came out in 2023, is an amazingly candid and sometimes eye-opening look at his life and the trials of living as a royal, not to mention his complicated family dynamics. While the decision to step back has allowed Harry to live life on his terms, it also came at the cost of his once close relationship with William. Their diverging lives reflect the bigger tensions within the monarchy as it tries to fit into a changed world. William's adherence to tradition and commitment to his future role as king represent the monarchy's desire for stability and continuity. Harry, on the other hand, has underlined the struggle of the institution to accommodate individuality and modernity through his pursuit of personal freedom and challenging royal norms. The endless rumors and media attention had been at the forefront of Harry's decision to leave royal duties. This was made worse when he felt that the institution was not doing enough to shield its members from this. It also appears William is also facing the same difficulty, but has chosen to hold on to his place within the family. That will be all for this video. Let's hear your thoughts in the comments, and we will see you in the next one.